Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Adafruit Show and Tell. I'm Liz. I'm going to be your host this evening. If you would like to join, show your project, you can join in the live broadcast channel on the Adafruit Discord, and that's at adafruit.it/discord. We're going to kick things off with some folks from Adafruit. We're going to talk to our friend Jeff first. Hello, Jeff.
All right. Hello. So last time around, I teased that I'd gotten a genuine Next computer's mouse.
Very cool.
And by the way, someone on our Slack was sharing that it's, I think, 30 years or something since Apple and Next merged. So computing history there. And I'm not sure I have the number of years right. But anyway, my guide with the keyboard has been updated so that you can take your Next mouse and plug it into the keyboard. Plug it into the keyboard and then plug that into the RP2040 and into your computer. And then you've got a keyboard and a mouse on your one USB connector. And yeah, that's in the guide. So it was pretty easy once I found some documentation of the protocol. And coming up, the next thing I'm going to do is make a direct adapter. So if you have a mouse but no keyboard, we'll do another adapter a lot like this original one here. So that'll be an upcoming guide project.
Very cool.
And yeah, that's what I mainly wanted to plug today. But like we discussed behind the scenes, maybe I'll come back and show you something else, depending on how many people we've got.
Yeah, thank you. And really looking forward to checking out your guide on this.
Yeah, if you can get the mouse. It's a little bit of a rarity.
Fair. All right, we'll see you in a bit.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to Noe and Pedro.
Hey, Liz. Hey. Yeah, so we wanted to share our collab project. This was the fun countdown clock, so you can adjust the CircuitPython code to kind of count down to your favorite event. So right now we have it set up for Christmas, so we got a couple days left here. These are using the alphanumeric displays with the new Stemma QT-ified board, so they're all daisy-chained together with the Stemma QT cable. For the microcontroller, we're using the ESP32S2 right here. Got a little 3D printed snap fit bit for that. And it's not really a case, it's just a stand. So it's pretty simple. It's open face, open back, so that you can, get to all the bits if you need to. And it just has like this nice little angle here. That's about 70 degrees. And you get that nice view. But yeah, the things just press fit into these little holes. And very simple assembly once you have the backpack soldered. So yeah, so the guide went up live yesterday, so folks can check that out. We showcased it on this morning's show. Yep, 3D Hangouts. So folks want to build one, you have plenty of time to count down.
I mean, there's always a countdown to something.
Countdown to something, yeah, your birthday.
To that evergreen project. And then secondly, we wanted to plug the addition of the Pico W to Whippersnapper.
Yay!
Hugs to Brent for hooking that up. Yeah, so I'll be working on a case that'll support the Pi cowbell in the back, so we can have access to the Stemma QT connection and then the reset button on the side. So make a cool little wall-mounted one. Brent was saying we don't have one of those cases yet, so for the Pico anyway. So we'll work on that. And then hugs to Dan for doing tests with the new Mac OS release. So they finally fixed the UF2 drag and drop bug that was present on there. I think it'll take like about 2 updates. I noticed that on the M2, it like updated and it was working perfectly. Then on the M1 Max, it needed like 2 updates or something. So just be aware of that when you're updating if it doesn't work. Yeah, I was like, oh man, I didn't know they're that different. And then the other thing escapes my mind. Oh yeah. It works, the tiny USB. I somehow messed up the bootloader and was able to get that back on there. The ESP tool that Melissa wrote, that worked perfectly. So everything's working again. Yay. Whew. I was sweating there like, oh no, I just busted this thing. So yeah, shout outs to everyone getting everything working back to normal. It's so funny. Cool. Gotta praise when everything works again.
Yeah, definitely. I was actually just saying to someone else in the community, I always hear when stuff's broken, but not necessarily when stuff's fixed. So I'm glad that they fixed the Mac stuff. Also, additional shout out to Melissa. She did an update to the alphanumeric display library that allows it to scroll the text. So without that update, that project would not be possible. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good shout out. All right.
And that's all we got. And a couple more layer by layer and 3D stuff on 3D Hangouts if you want to check that out earlier in the playlist.
Fun.
Yes.
And that's all we got.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Have a good one. Next, we are going to hear from some folks in the community. We're going to kick things off with DJ Devin. Hello.
Hello, Liz. Can you hear me?
Yes, sound good. How's it going?
It's going great, actually. I've
right.
made some awesome progress. I've been 3D printing a lot. These are all the different iterations of the step switch cap that I went through,
Cool.
and each just has this minuscule, tiny, like a 1/10 of a millimeter off kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like they have to be so precise, because on the sides of the step switches, it's hard to, you can't see it, but on the very side of the step switch is a tiny little pin, and if that pin is not inside of that side body, it won't click. No clicky, no. So I got that running with the display on the MCP. It's hard to see here, so just says toggle on and off, and just got that, just the toggle, and Neradoc wrote all the code for that. So this uses async IO.
Cool.
There's no MIDI stuff yet, no music stuff yet. Everybody got, well, not everybody, but I sent out a batch of boards to some people that expressed an interest in getting them, so those went out. So happy holidays to everyone that got one of the TR cowbells. Half of them were fully assembled and half of them were kits. And just one note is that all 3 of these, or all 6 of these, have to be soldered. And there was one person, I'm not going to name names, but there was one person that already figured out a way to jump basically bodge wire fix and get the second I2C bus working, and getting both of these on one I2C bus, so that this could actually function, the I2C and the stemma ports could actually function correctly. So that was really cool. I don't think I gave people enough credit for being able to bodge fix their own stuff. Dealing with everybody that I sent them to is far more experienced than I am, so that was really cool to see that stuff working. And then these are the longer 808 style caps. These work okay. The shorter ones actually do work better, unfortunately. So all of you who had your heart set on like the long 808 styles, gonna have to go with a different kind of switch, because there's just too much leverage on these short bodies. So I will be figuring out maybe a custom switch in the future. So we'll see. That's what I got.
Very cool. And so you modeled that switch, the orange ones, and printed them to like make a custom colorway.
Yes, the orange was not available from Adafruit. So, but I really wanted the 808 style. Anybody who does anything with sequencers, you're gonna, it's a given. So that's why I went through all the trouble, was just to get the orange. And I made the first 3D model, and that was, as Noe and Pedro came on earlier, they highlighted in the 3D Hangouts this morning, that the 3D model for this that actually does work, and you can just drop it right on the cap. And all of these caps you can just take off and switch colors. So it's not like, oh no, I soldered this color onto this switch. No, just take the cap off and flip the cap. You don't have to desolder the entire switch. Just flip the caps. So yeah, that's, that's what I got. And so the 3D model is available in Adafruit's 3D CAD parts, the Adafruit step switch. So anyone that has a 3D printer, you are now free to 3D print in any color that you want. And I imagine, since they're step switches, most people are going to go straight for orange.
Probably. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that with the community. I think folks will really find that to be helpful.
You're very welcome. And everyone, have a lovely holiday season.
Yes. Happy holidays. Thank you. Next, we're going to go to Mark Gamblor. Hello, Mark.
All right. I need to go outside.
Going outside. Yeah. Great.
Yeah. So it is currently minus 23 Celsius.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I wanted to wait to the last moment. So give me 1 second to switch the camera around. And I wanted to show off now the outside display I've got.
It looks great.
So yeah, 80 Neopixels being driven by that was a Pi cow running the pixels around it.
Nice.
Followed by the tree is driven by a QD Pi. The star is 3D printed, and it's all doing different animations, super easy to control and change however I feel. Can time it if I want, can do pretty much anything.
Excellent.
Yeah, it worked great. This would actually be awesome once that 8-pin Scorpio board comes out. Then you can drive everything off one board.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, over on the other side, I still have my previous display front that I was showing off a couple of weeks ago, running, lighting up my whole yard now.
Excellent. So is it fair to say that you're winning the holiday lights on your block this year?
On my block, yeah, there's not a lot though. My neighbor's got, I can just show over his house.
Oh, okay.
Has a fair number as well. I'm like, wait, I'm outside, I can do this. But yeah, besides the two of us, there's not a lot on the street right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, this turned out awesome, and yeah, super easy to do. It's all in Circuit Python too, so.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for sharing, Mark, and happy holidays.
You as well.
Okay. Thank you. Now we're going to go back to Jeff to have him play us out.
Oh, Mark, go inside and have some hot chocolate.
Fire from inside.
Yeah, so I'll have you switch over to my down cam in a second, but I was going through some old things and I found this magazine from 1985. It's issue 1 of Robot Experimenter.
Very
yeah, so let's see, how's my view here? And honestly, we're doing a lot of the things today still that we were doing back in this age. So the cover photograph here, it says, the cover shows Russell using his voice-controlled robot computer workstation, lifting a glass for him to drink. Russell has been developing applications that allow physically disabled people to use the available computer resources to complement their lives. This is just one use for a voice-controlled workstation. And then there's a whole article about the workstation in here. You can also use it to tune. I guess I'm upside down here. Hold on. You can also use it to tune, to press the buttons to tune your ham radio, I think is what I understood from this.
Oh, great.
And yeah, so it was going to cost only $895, which I checked is like $2,300 today. But if that was a little too rich for you, these two were pretty cool. The affordable robot arm was only $200 then, $600 now.
Okay.
And it, I think, works with your Commodore computer. Commodore 64, VIC-20, Apple II, or IBM PC. So it's really versatile. It works with all the computers. And then I thought this one was a really cool possible remake.
Yeah.
So it's a two-wheel robot, and on the disc, you blacken whether to run the left motor or the right motor. It slowly spins the disc and follows your list of instructions.
That's really cool.
So, you know, you could make it do a little dance or whatever you could imagine. And I'm thinking we could remake this. We've got all the stuff. And then maybe, I don't know, an idea for somebody to pick up. But
That's
yeah,
right.
this was there's a plan for an entire computer in here. It's like 6 pages of schematics.
Wow.
It's a whole computer. You can build it, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway, it was a time of wonder for computers.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to share this with y'all. So yeah, this is 1985. And I will look whether this is on archive.org. And if not, I will scan it up.
Oh,
and
awesome.
put it on there.
Great.
So yeah, Robot Experimenter, 1985.
Very cool. Thank you for bringing that by. That I'm curious to maybe try out some of his main discs. I saw recently Emily Velasco is doing some color recognition stuff and having colors trigger different tones on a synth. So I think there's definitely like a lot of stuff to explore in that arena. So.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thanks so much, Jeff.
All right. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too. All right, that is going to finish our show and tell. Great projects tonight, everybody. In about 15 minutes at 8 p.m., John Park's going to come on with his workshop live right here. But until then, hope everyone has a great evening. Good night.